Hi, everybody, and welcome all challengers to week 3 of our Healthy Holiday Challenge. You know, we're halfway through, and I hope all of you are on track with your goals. And just to recap, week 1, we learned how to make choices with goals in mind and received a chart and template on preparing our goals. And if you didn't do it at that time and you're thinking maybe now you should, please let your health coach know, and they'll be happy to send that to you. Also, week 2, last week, we received healthy recipes. And most importantly, this past week, we all made it through the biggest eating holiday of the year. So congratulations to everybody for that. And this week, we're going to focus on surviving social events. And at the end of this presentation, we will draw the winners live for our 2 team-only contests. So be sure to stick around till the end of the call. So let's get started, and I want to share my screen. But before we do that, remember we always have our water handy, and tonight's word is event. So every time you hear the word event, I want you to take a drink. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first of all, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Neva Kosmicki, and that person on the left is somebody from 7 years ago and 50 pounds ago. So I definitely had my experience with dealing with social events. Some successful, some not so successful. And so what I want to do is just take some of the things that I've learned and share those with you tonight. So when we think about surviving social events, there's many parts of social events for you to think about. One of them is, what am I going to wear? What am I going to say? What am I going to eat? What am I going to drink? And what am I going to do afterwards? And sometimes it's just so much to think about. People think they don't really want to even go. It's just too much. But we really want you to learn how to be able to deal with these events as you progress, and be able to deal with whatever the situation is. And as you go to each one, you will learn a little bit more about yourself. So let's go ahead and break them down. The first one is what to wear. And you might think, well, that's kind of funny to talk about that. But the thing is, how many times have you thought about or heard people say in the past to go to Thanksgiving, oh, I think I'll just wear sweatpants or something with an elastic waist, and I don't have to worry about my clothes getting too tight. So what I'm really saying is I do want you to wear clothes that are going to fit. Nothing saggy, nothing baggy. I do want the clothes to make you feel good, colorful, festive. Take a selfie before you go, just so you know how good you look, and be prepared for compliments. Sometimes people have a hard time accepting compliments. So be prepared to say thank you and let it go at that. You don't have to say, oh, this old thing, or no, I'm not really losing weight yet. I really want you to be able to accept that compliment and go from there, okay? The next thing we want to talk about at social events is what to eat. Now, we all have talked about some of the different eating things throughout this challenge so far, but these are just a couple of good tips. I want you to eat something before you go. And that may sound strange. You may think, gee, I want to save up my calories and use them at the event. But what we really want is we want you to go there and not be starving. So if you're on the 5-in-1, have a shake first or even a bar before you go. If you're not on the 5-in-1, have a salad. Have a small salad with some protein just to fill you up so that you don't get there and are all kind of crazy hungry. And sometimes when you go to an event, like I did for Thanksgiving this past week, from the time that I was told to get there to the time that we actually ate, it was 2.5 hours later. So I was really glad that I didn't go in a starving mode, okay? Next thing to think about is find out what will be offered before you go, if that's at all possible. Is it a sit-down meal? Is it appetizers? Is it hearty appetizers? See what you can find out, because whatever you can find out can help you plan accordingly to eat or not eat before, or what to have available thereafter. Also, once you get someplace, I want you to survey the food options first. Sometimes the food is in different rooms. Sometimes in the living room, there might be candies and treats, and then you get into the kitchen and there might be protein and veggies. So take a look at everything first before you dive in, and that'll help you progress through the event as well. And guess what? Just avoid the dessert table. I've had people say, I just want to smell it, Neva, that's all. You know, I would say just avoid it altogether. You don't need to look at it and just move on. And something that's very, very important is there's two dangerous words out there. It's called free food. And the reason these are dangerous is because we all know there really is no such thing as free food, right? This often comes into play in the work environment. It might be, but the company is buying it, it's free food, or the boss is buying it, it's free food. But you know what? Free food is digested in our gut just the same way that food that you pay for is. And so it doesn't make any difference from that perspective. However, free does get digested in your brain differently, and you think it's a free-for-all. So be very, very careful when you hear that word free food. Okay? What about what to say? And I'm talking about what do you say to people that start pushing food on you? And this could be anytime. It doesn't have to be just at an event. When somebody is pushing food on you, there's a couple things you can do. One is you can say nothing, you can walk away. If it's a large number of people, you can just pretend you haven't heard. Another thing would be is to say, well, let me look around first. Let me see what's all here, and then I'll make a decision. And then you can move on into another room or wherever, another table, and maybe lose that person. Another thing you can do is you learn to respond with values versus outcomes. So in other words, no thanks, I'm trying to be a better me. And when people hear that, they're more likely to respect what you're saying, as opposed to, oh, I'm on this challenge, and I got to be good because, I got to lose this weight for this challenge. They don't care about that. But if you say, I'm really trying to be a better me, then they'll be more respectful of you. And this last one is so important. If they say, but you can have just one, and this is a pretty common one that we hear from mothers. You can have just one. This is a statement that is going to take you a little while to be able to say, but I want you to be able to say, but I may not be able to stop at just one. Get the difference? And if you say that to somebody and they're like, whoa, really? Oh, okay. All right, then I'm not going to tempt you. And they'll back away. So that's a little bit stricter one. But if you really have somebody that's badgering you, that's a great way to handle it. All right. What about what to drink? And I want to talk about alcohol and non-alcoholic drinks. Okay. Now we all know water, diet tonic water, club soda, put some lemons in it, put some limes in it, put it in a pretty glass. As long as you have something in your hand, lots of times at an event, people won't bug you, right? So you can always do that. Another thing you can do is if you are going to have alcohol, you can make a little bit of a game out of it. So just a week ago, I was invited to some friend's house, and they had wine, and they poured me a glass of wine. And I said, could I have a water chaser with that? And they actually gave me a water bottle. And they thought it was kind of funny and talked about, my water chaser. But you know what? I went through 3 bottles of water and 1 glass of wine, and I made it through the evening just fine like that. And so it's just something fun that you can do. Alcohol, just remember, it dehydrates you. So if you are going to drink it, you're going to want to drink water afterwards before you go to bed. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about alcohol. So we'd rather you don't have it. Then there's something else that's really fun, and it's called ice water. It's bottled, and here's an example. The name is Ice, ICE, and it comes in all different flavors, and it's zero everything except it's got vitamins. And you can just put this in a glass, different colors, and make a nice drink. Or you can even use it to make mocktails. And some of you may not know that there are some MetaFast mocktail recipes, and those are made using flavor infusers, and those are great. And then I also have a number of recipes that use sugar-free syrups like Da Vinci or Torani, and then you can use the ice, and you can have fun names like Maui Memories or Celery Collins or Ruby Red in Vermont. And I went ahead and I'm showing you a couple of recipes here, and if you want any of these recipes, just check with your health coach and they'll be able to get them. The spiced margarita is one from MetaFast using the strawberry lemonade flavor infuser. But you could use any flavored infuser from the store. And you can see that one gets kind of spicy. It's got some cilantro and jalapeno in it. And the second one, the Ruby Red in Vermont, is made with a concentrate. So you're actually going to use some of the Walden Farms maple pancake syrup, a drop of maple flavoring, and then a different flavor of ice. In that case, we want to use grapefruit. And then that concentrate, you can put 1 ounce of it in a glass on top of ice, and then you can top it off with either diet tonic or diet ginger ale. You can even garnish it with grapefruit, a grapefruit twist, and it makes about 3 to 4 mocktails. So that's kind of fun just to be able to do that as well. And the last thing that I really want to share with each of you is what to do afterwards. And you might think that's kind of strange. We're supposed to be dealing with surviving social events. But sometimes it's the afterwards that's the hardest part. So first of all, whether your event and your actions were successful or not, I want you to be compassionate and kind to yourself. I've talked to a lot of people in the past couple days after Thanksgiving, some that didn't do quite so well, didn't do as well as they hoped, and they were really beating themselves up. So stop it. What you want to do is just learn from that experience. And as I said, over 7 years, I've done all kinds of things at events. And what's most important is learning after each one. And ideally, turn to your health coach or turn to somebody that you can discuss it with so that you can learn and change that behavior. And once you change that behavior, you've built a new habit and it'll become much easier. Now, on the other hand, if you did very well on your at your social event, I want you to share it with others. And I've seen a lot of people put postings up on the wall, and I would like you to do that because I think that's a great way to let other people know, and it makes you feel good about what you did. Share that with others. Something else you can do is before you go, if you really think you're going to have a hard time, plan to reward yourself with a non-food reward item, like a new book, lotion, pedicure, something that's non-food. And that way, then you always are thinking about, if I make it through, I'm going to get the whatever. And it's another just building a behavior that you can use. So keep that in mind. And this last one is one that I definitely experienced. It was the first Thanksgiving that I had after I'd lost weight. And I was so good. I was so good at the event. And when I came home, I had been so good that I was starving. And instead of having a healthy snack or protein plan for myself, I just kind of went bonkers. I just kind of wanted everything in the house. And that was, of course, it just ruined the whole event for me. So don't think that you're free and clear just because you're home from your event. I really want you to think about having something available for you when you get home that is healthy. So that's everything I had for all of us tonight. And what I'd like to do is have all of you post on the wall any of the social events that you've attended and what worked for you. Or if you had an experience that didn't work quite so well, what did you learn from it? Since we don't have time to share that with everybody, and unfortunately, I didn't do the recording at the beginning of our real Zoom. I'm doing this afterwards so that everybody still gets a chance to see this. And so let me just close this out, stop my share, and come back and let everybody know that on our real Zoom huddle tonight that I forgot to record, we did select our 2 team-only contest winners. For the first contest, That was for the people that invited others to the challenge that actually joined. Our winner was Patty Monroe. And so Patty, you will be notified and you will receive a $25 holiday credit on your Take Shape for Life program. And the other winner for the Facebook posting, and the person got to announce what they liked most about the huddle or about the Zoom challenges. And our winner for that was Ellen Shaughnessy. And Ellen did tell us that she really enjoyed last week's healthy recipes, and she did get to try several of them this past week. So congratulations to both of our team winners, and I hope to see lots and lots of information about your social event activities out on the wall this next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.